everyone, it's Isabel Imbaga.
And this is Apple Salyan, and you're listening to our podcast, The Earth Talk.
And for this episode of our podcast, we're gonna talk about how change in this world has undoubtedly been seen for the past few years.
Years have already passed, but our Mother Earth continues to be disappointed by our actions.
But before we start, we have some guests for today's podcast. They're not just simple high school students, but they are high school students who are concerned and worried about what's gonna happen to this planet if we don't change our ways. They are also concerned for their future, thinking what might happen in the upcoming years.
So, let me welcome our guests. We have Loreliza Visitacion, Elizabeth Adyong, and Mayville Tilos.
Hi everyone, it's Loreliza Visitacion.
Hello, it's Elizabeth Ajong.
And it's Mayville Tilos.
We are also honored to be here today.
And we are excited to share our sentiments about how our planet has changed and affected us a lot in these past years.
We are also as downhearted as you guys who think of nothing but our future and what might happen to us if we don't do something.
That's right. So why don't we listen to what they can share to us and learn something from them? Why don't we start with Loreliza?
Yes, and for today's talk, let's start off with the recent Let the Earth Breathe campaign that went viral around the world. As all of you know, the campaign went viral when scientists that were informing people of how we only have 4 to 5 years to live on this planet were arrested. It somehow awakened the people to research on the issues regarding our environment. And true to what the scientists said, our planet needs help. Climate change has always been a global concern for decades, and yet until now, it remains to be our biggest concern. As modernization develops through time, human activities are mostly responsible for pollution. Activities that include burning of fossil fuels like using transportation, manufacturing goods, and many more affect the planet as they release a large amount of carbon dioxide in the air.
Yes, actually, it was all over the internet. Like from every platform and social media, you can see everyone spreading awareness about this issue.
That's true. It is all over the internet. I guess some people just choose to remain ignorant. Zai, is it okay if you can share to us some ways on how we can help stop climate change so we can really start on this issue?
Absolutely. As simple as it sounds, deleting unwanted emails actually can help. Emails are being stored in multiple servers around the world. The servers, as well as their cooling system, consume large amounts of electricity every day. Electricity is still mostly being generated by fossil fuels, which result in global carbon emissions. There are still many ways on how we can stop climate change, like planting more trees, unplugging unused electronics, or simply spreading awareness. At the end of the day, everyone should do their part in saving our environment.
But of course, it's not only our climate that gets affected. Human activities impact our Earth's waters as well. 80% of the world's wastewater is dumped, largely untreated, back into the environment, jeopardizing our health, polluting rivers, lakes, and oceans. Meanwhile, our drinkable water sources are finite. Less than 1% of the Earth's fresh water is actually accessible to us. Without action, the challenges will only increase by 2050, when global demand for fresh water is expected to be one-third greater than it is now.
Gosh, it's not every day we're faced with the blunt truth of our future. Extreme heat by climate change, and even inaccessible fresh water?
Just thinking about these things actually happening in the future gives me so much anxiety. My god, I can't even imagine what it's gonna be like if getting and using water is gonna be so hard for us to do.
Ugh, I know, right? I can't even survive a day without drinking more than 5 glasses of water.
Beth, is there something you can share with us on what we can do to prevent this water shortage from happening?
Yes, there are multiple ways to prevent this. Solutions include wastewater treatment, which consists of removing pollutants from wastewater through physical, chemical, or biological processes. We have green agriculture. It's essential to have climate-friendly crops and efficient irrigation, since agriculture accounts for 70% of water resources. Stormwater management, we have that too. It's to reduce runoff of rainwater or melted snow into streets, lawns, and other sites. Then we have air pollution prevention, and lastly, plastic waste reduction.
Yes, I agree with that. Another thing we may forget is that there are other creatures and species out there that needs our help. Biodiversity loss has become a problem that we all are dealing with, as well as what we are suffering from as a consequence of our own actions. We all know that it is caused by a variety of factors, the most serious of which are habitat destruction and overexploitation of species, both of which are directly caused by our growing population and unsustainable consumption. Since the appearance of humans, more than 1 million plant and animal species have been threatened with extinction, leading us to the Anthropocene extinction, which is also known as the sixth mass extinction.
This problem really makes me sad. For the past years, I've been seeing posts about the different species already labeled as extinct.
And have you seen the faces of these animals? They look so sad, I just couldn't help but feel bad.
Man, reading articles about their extinction really makes me emotional. So, Mayville, what can we do to stop this biodiversity loss?
Biodiversity conservation is one solution. It is one of the most important solutions, particularly for species that are on the verge of extinction. Examples of methods of conservation are to protect their habitats and leave native plants undisturbed, and landscape using native trees and vegetation. Another thing we can do as students is to educate ourselves about this issue. We should learn everything that we can about nature and share what we know with others, as well as encourage and support local government activities that protect habitats and decrease threats to biodiversity.
Whew. Our planet Earth is indeed in an awful condition.
Imagine, those were just some of the problems our planet has been experiencing.
I know, right? How much more if they talked about all of the problems?
It would be nerve-wracking, and I would definitely be devastated.
I just hope you guys have learned something from what they've tackled about and really put to heart and mind the things that we can do to help save our planet.
Alright, to conclude, we have Pete Xavier and William Pusta to share their thoughts about the talk we had with our guests earlier.
Hey everyone, it's Pete Xavier.
And it's William Pusta, and we're gonna talk about some few things about what our guests have shared earlier. To refresh your minds, we have conversed about numerous human activities that bring forth destruction rather than being progressive. We can say that everything in our surroundings is not what it used to be 5 to 10 years back, and the change seen and experienced by society is not always for the better. These environmental aftermaths not only affect us humans, but also the other living organisms living on this planet. When the environment is declining, not only one sector of our society will fall, but all of them one at a time.
Wow, that was a lot. Anyways, we all know that environmental issues are the harmful effects of human activities on the environment. These might include pollution, waste disposal, climate change, loss of biodiversity, etc. While the magnitude of that thought can be extremely overwhelming, don't allow yourself to feel helpless. Not knowing where to begin, making small steps and adjustments in your daily routine will give you a sense of success and a yearning to attempt more.
Ladies and gentlemen, there is no other Earth.
We have no more time left.
It is either we make up to Mother Earth,
Or lose our chance.
If we don't do something,
You'll truly lose everything.
Let us save our planet.
That brings us to the end. Thank you for listening to our podcast, The Earth Talk.
This is Group 3, signing off.